Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. As the title suggests, is Dante overreacting on the Rocco situation? I still stand by my initial statement. Well, in the beginning, no. Now we're blown way past that. We talking about at first Dante wants to sit there and charge charge Gio. Now he wants to charge Rocco. I'm like, bro, this guy done lost his goddamn mind. Now, of course, this is all set up intention and everything like that because, the whole Geo situation. But now we're going to be sitting there talking about all the soap operas, as you know. Let's sit there and do roll call. Let's get this started. Kaiwan's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Ryan is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Amy's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Blackmont, aka Mr. GQ's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Krista's in the chat. How you doing tonight? True Seeker's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Wink Wink is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Sandy Moon, it's good to see you again, Sandy Moon. How you doing? Francis in the chat. How you doing tonight? Hope everyone had a great, glorious, and beautiful day. Yeah, want some music. Double X is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Krista is in the chat. How you doing tonight? I'm doing good, Black Mom. How you doing? Monique is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Now, again, my music, my music going, my drink going. We can sit there and talk about this stuff tonight because we got a lot to talk about, people. We got a lot to talk about, people. Now, as I always sit there and say, I don't know why I have to say this, but for some odd reason, I feel the need to sit there and keep saying this. There is 14 people in the chat. There is only one of me. I am not going to sit there and try to answer all the comments. But just be patient, understanding, and everyone, including me, will have a very good night. What's good, Francis? If I can say hi to you, I'm glad to hear that, Dolmedics. Glad to hear you had a good day. And thank you for being here tonight. Monique says, I understand Dante is upset about the drinking, but he went overboard blaming. Oh, what's good, Allison? Overboard blaming Gio. Apparently, Dante wasn't keeping an eye on Rocco. Either both Danny and Rocco did what typical teenagers do. Exactly. Exactly. Let's everyone say what's up to Allison. Allison S. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Michael Fairman, one of the hardest soap opera content creators in the business. Let me see something. Hold on. Oh, shit. Yeah, man. That man kills it with the interviews. I mean, I can learn a thing or two from that man. Sandy says Dante is blaming everyone else, but he needs to blame himself. Exactly what Sonny said. Exactly what Sonny said. That is correct, Amundo. Exactly what Sonny said. And where's my music at? It's right here. And Sandy, it's good to sit there and have you back on the channel. Hmm. Oh, that is so good. Hmm. Hmm. I tell you, there's nothing like having a new bottle of wine. It's actually kind of in poor taste. Just realized that. So, we're talking about Danny and the whole alcohol situation. And I'm just like, oh, that tastes so damn good. That's so damn much. I'm going to have to check that out later. And Nicole address is on Instagram Live on someone's podcast. What? Okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know, Dolmex. Oh, yeah, I am following her. I hope I'm following her. Allison says also he told Rocco he didn't have to drink. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, Do- Domek says, "Oh yeah, I saw that Martin and Smitty live. I have to check that out later on tonight. The Nicole actress is also Instagram live on someone's podcast tonight. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean to be fair, right? And yes, cheers, Francis. And to be fair, you know that Dante with the badge and everything like that. You know, he knows that Jason's not going to sit there and put hands on him. You know, he knows that. So in all reality, he ain't worried. Wing said, yeah, Danny specifically said you don't have to drink. All you got to do is just hold the cup and blend it. Yeah, he did say that. That's literally what he said. But I mean, let's be honest. It's not like Jason really sat there and dropped the hammer on him. You know? He really didn't. He just sat there and was just like, okay, don't do it again. Okay, wait, that's it? I was like, wait, that's it? That's all you want to say? Domex says, Nicole and Leslie did a live together earlier this week. No, actually, I did not. Oh, wait. I saw part of it. Um, Rock TV actually made a comment about that on his Twitter page. Basically, Smith is saying like, "Yo, listen, they better get a renewal. We gotta talk about Beyond the Gates too. We gotta talk about Beyond the Gates and what's good, Deluxe. Also, the little interesting situation that wound up happening at it's bad, but a little thing. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Exactly, though, medics. Wing says, yeah, Dante didn't pull the crap he did with Gio when talking to Danny because he knew Jason wasn't putting up with that ish. Hmm. What's good, Eagle? Who is writing Dante like such a total Karen? I don't even know where this is coming from with him at this point. What else am I doing? Not exactly. The problem is, Eagle, Sonny said the same thing that Lois said. You're upset with Gio. You're taking it out on Gio when you're blaming yourself. You're disappointed with yourself and you're taking it out on everybody else. Ooh, I love that, and I didn't talk about that. Thank you. Hmm. Yes, that's very correct, all medics. Yes, I agree with that. Deluxe says so. If Sam was still alive and this happened, would Dante tell Sam he doesn't want Danny around Rocco? Would Dante sit there and threaten Danny with arresting him? Like that's not what Sam would want. And I feel like that's kind of stuff. That's kind of like really stepping. That's really kind of shitting on her memory by doing that by threatening her son. I'm so glad that you said that, Deluxe, because I forgot to say that in my review. I didn't write it down in the notes, but I thought about it. And I'm like, wait, hold on, seriously? Like that's not what Sam would have wanted. Nick says, why hasn't Dante went to question the students who gave them that? Oh, very good question. Nick says, why hasn't Dante went to question the student who gave them alcohol? Exactly, I was saying. That's a very good point. Sandy says Dante was busy listening and Lulu whining instead of going with Rocco and Danny to the game. Yes. And what's good, cherry ice cream? Francis says Albert can't wait for Dante to find out about Gio so he feels guilty. The writers are dragging us out too long with him. They're finding out. Yes. Yeah, it's what was I saying? Holy fucking god. But yeah, I'm just like, the fact that she's not there doing this, like Sam wouldn't want that. Exactly, Dolomitics, and like that's not what she would want. What's good, Spider Quake? Dante's overreacting. Also, I'm sad we didn't see my Lulu today, but I'm sad we didn't get to see we. I don't know about no we. You're talking about yourself. But say we didn't get to see. You didn't get to see her. Let's keep that shit down to a single note. We might have. Ryan said this side of Dante's nothing new. He's always been self-righteous, arrogant, and acting like he's better than everyone else. But yes, here's the thing. And here's something else that he said. See, this is the thing when I sit there and say, has Dante overreacted? Because there's a lot to what he's doing. One of the things he said was, I don't want Danny to be around Rocco. Now, I know that sounds ugly and sad and everything like that, but like, shit, only 3 people hit the like button? Yo, hit that like button. 28 people in the chat? What's good, LaShawn? Yo, hit that like button. Yeah, I didn't realize. It definitely does help out. Okay, so we got, okay, we got 9 likes now, so we're moving up. Rocco can't live. Ego think Dante is right about some things, though. He's right about some things, but he is way overreacting. Teenage boys should be teenage boys. Yeah, but I do understand that he doesn't want Danny near his son. Okay, not forever, but for a little bit. I can see where he's like, yeah, he shouldn't be sitting there hanging around Rocco. Okay, because he only went to that party because of Rocco. Yeah, so that I do support. I know Danny feels like shit, but like maybe some time away from your brother can definitely cool the situation down. So that I agree with. That I will wholeheartedly agree with. And just to kind of reiterate back to the original, um, you know, thing or statement or whatever situation, you made the wrong call. And I know people can sit there and say, but he was a kid. He didn't know what to do. He panicked, blah, blah, blah. I don't give two flying. He made the wrong call. And I understand his initial anger with you. The son almost died and he got blindsided about it. So in the beginning, his anger and his no, no, no. Well, then I completely disagree. Well, I mean that's fine, Ryan. But let's put it in this perspective. Though. And I get you just want to sit there and shit on Dante the whole night, and that's whatever. But you can love him, but still be mad at him and disappointed at what he did. And let's be honest, as a parent, he has the right to sit there and not want Danny near his child. That's the bottom line. Let's just be very clear about that. He has every right to sit there and forbid him away from being near Rocco. And I'm not saying long term, but yeah. Yes, that's right, LaShawn. Francis says Robert Dante needs to discipline Rocco. He made the choice of drinks he could have left. Yeah, and that's true. Yeah, he definitely there's some consequences that does need to happen. Yeah, I get that. I get that, Sammy. I do. But like tensions are high. I get that for a little bit. They are brothers. That's silly. Yeah, but if your child almost died because they went with somebody else and that situation happened, I don't think it. I don't. Okay, we can disagree. We can agree to disagree, but like I don't think it's silly. When your child is near death, and you realize because he was practically dragged to a party because of a bad influence at the time. I can just let that slide. I don't think any parent could just sit there and just let that slide. LaShawn says Xander offered Johnny a job at tight. Yeah, mysterious job doing who knows what at this point. And Sarah apparently got sick, so yeah, and, just for a little bit, you know, because and honestly, tell you the truth, let's be honest, Ryan, and everyone. What did Jason actually do? Yeah, I get that, Allison. I do, but I understand what he's sitting there saying, though. Monique says, but at the same time, make him realize his choices have consequences. Exactly. He just said, oh, well, the only thing you have to sit there and do is check in with me every night. How about being grounded? How about being punished? How about having a curfew? How about taking away some of his electronics, his video games, something? He didn't do a goddamn thing. Who was the bad influence that brought Rocco to the party? Who is the bad influence that brought Rocco to the party? Danny. Wing says, I don't think this naive Dante making narrative Dante makes with his crisis, you are no longer considered family if you make a mistake. I get that. August says, I think Dante needs to look at his own idiotic parenting and ask his own son why he doesn't have the ability to stand up to peer pressure. How is Danny a bad influence? Because he took him to a party that he didn't want to go to. I mean, Press, at the end of the day, I think it's just probably a good idea for them to separate for a little bit. I think it's a good idea. And what's good, Tommy? I think it's a good idea for them to separate for a little bit. I'm not saying they gotta, be estranged forever. But, Dante is upset and he has every right to sit there and be upset. He took him to a college party that, let's be honest, he didn't really want to go. But he went because, hey, I miss my brother and everything like that. And going to a college party in itself, being that young of an age, is not exactly a good thing. So yeah, and in a sense, yeah, that's kind of a bad influence. He's not the worst. I'm not saying he's the devil, but Tommy says Ted is going to step up. Yeah, yeah, Tommy, I wasn't too happy with Leslie. Leslie is just becoming more trash by the day, if we're gonna be honest. Um, she's really just. Jay Blue says at the end of the Rocco has a mind of his own and makes a very poor choice. Yeah, I mean I get that, and I'm not just saying that um, Danny should definitely take some responsibility, and I agree with that. I agree with that, Prince. I do. I'm just saying, ultimately, they should sit there and split up for a little bit, though. Regardless if you think that, like you said or whatever. And I agree with that. But this is about easing tensions and calming Dante down. Danny made a bad choice. Let's just be honest. And yeah, we could sit there and say, well, Rocco wasn't exactly innocent. You know what I'm saying? Tommy says, Leslie is so wrong in every way. I will next kick out my kid. Exactly. But now her Looney Tune ass is going to sit there and be by herself in her little crazy delusional world. You know? I'm like, you're selfish. And on top of that, you sat there, you messed up the relationship between your daughter and her father. And then you didn't like how she acted, so you kicked her out? Francis says, what do you think of Leslie throwing Eva out on gays? I think, honestly, to tell you the truth, it's just making me like her. It's just making me dislike her less. It's just making me dislike her more and more. Because now she got to sit there and be boo boo the fool by herself. So what did it's like, what did she really get? She's not going to be getting any money or anything like that. I don't know if she's going to be getting any money or anything. But you were selfish in denying access, you know, um, to your daughter. And then you kick her out. So like, I felt like she lost more than she actually won. That's the problem. So, but yeah, it was a trash ass move. Sandy says, while Dante is losing his mind, Nosy Lulu is still plotting against BLQ. I am too, Dominix. I am too. I am too. That's why it's like what she did after that when she kicked her, I was like, girl, you're just trash. Like every time I sit there and see her, I just roll my goddamn eyes. I'm just like, oh, here we go again. This crazy ass over the top Looney Tunes character. And I forgot that she did that too. Yes, I totally forgot she did that as well. Wink. Well, I mean, that's why it's like we're just and I get that. I'm just saying, like I try. I'll let you talk whatever. No, I mean, like I said, Ryan, I get that. I'm trying to look at it. I'm not happy with Dante. I'm just trying to understand where he's coming from a little bit. You know. Belmex has also Haley's become more and more annoying. The character is giving major bimbo energy now. She was always giving major energy. She was always giving major bimbo energy. Like she's been giving major bimbo energy since day one. Since she walked up to Danny being like, oh, well, can we just find a way to sit there and just kind of work it out? Like, what are you talking about? What is there to work out? You're with her husband. Then her dumbass kept going to the club every damn day. And now she's sitting there like, oh, well, I already know everything, so I'm about to sit there and listen in. Why? So she could sit there and throw her 2 cents every now and then? I'm like, girl, why don't you sit there and make a YouTube channel? This way you can just react to a video instead of sitting there reacting to the conversation that those two men are sitting there having. Hollywood movie trend says Beyond the Gates is very accurate to Prince George Country MD. I don't know who that is, but okay. August said Dante is coming from a place of total dodging responsibility for knowing where his kid is and for teaching his kid how to conduct himself in a pressure situation. Hmm? Dodging response. Well, yeah, he is. He's like Lois said. Yo, listen. You want to sit there and get upset with Gio, but where were you at? You got caught up in Lulu's drama instead of sitting there taking those boys to the damn game. Now, granted, they could have tried to get out of it and just ditched or whatever, Was good, Amber, and they could have sat there and got out and just tried to ditch or whatever. But like at the end of the day, LaShawn says, I'm glad that Summer is finally gone. Harrison was never her son. Okay, I disagree with that, but we can agree to disagree. I don't think that blood necessarily makes you family, if we're going to be honest. I don't really understand where that's coming from, but August is exactly Albert. Lois is actually making sense for a change. Yeah, no, she was on point. Bill Mack says, I'm going to admit that Haley pissed me off the first time I saw her winking at the camera and the opening credits. Oh, actually, I thought that scene was pretty hot, but I finally got why some fans got so pissed off at Brooke Logan. Okay. Yeah, I actually thought that scene was pretty hot. But tomato, tomato, as they say. As they say. Yeah, but the thing is, though, Allison, it's like Rocco is a good kid. He's always the type of person that follows the rules and everything like that. And Danny's more the person that, um, Anthony, the number one YouTuber, how you doing tonight? I hope all is well with you. And I agree, August. I agree because it's like, okay, cool. That's why I said August. I understood his initial anger. I understood him lashing out at Gio when he found out that his son was okay. Everything that he started doing after that, I was like, all right, bro. I was like, all right, bro. Now I was like, now you talking about arresting Gio, and you're sitting there trying to make it seem like, well, Gio, and he took that shit back today. If you notice that, he took back the whole claim where he was like, oh well, Gio, you probably the one that gave them the alcohol. He took it back to that. But then he just started talking about I'm gonna charge Danny, and Jason was like, I'm sorry, you're gonna do what? Jay Blue says, I must have missed something that Dante and Gio had in the conversation as both that Dante and Gio had in common is that they both chill guys, not provoke you. Wayne says on Hollywood's why did that old lady drug the lesbian girl that hit the cop after she was drugged? I'm not even too sure. I'm not even that's a really good question. I know that she did it and her dad did it. Um I don't think that they like the chick Sienna for some odd reason. So like maybe like the way that Sienna works is like she doesn't want people to feel guilty first. She doesn't want people to sit there and stay with her out of guilt. So maybe they thought like if they drug her and make her think that she had this incurable disease. Yes, exactly, Dolomix. If she gets drugged and she has this incurable disease, then she would just distance herself from that other chick named Cleo. That's my guess. Uh, I think that's why she did that because she I don't know for some odd reason she doesn't like Cleo. That's why I got it. Yeah, Wayne, trust me, I'm playing catch up too. I'm playing catch up too, so I got to actually kind of catch up. So maybe I could try to do it this weekend. But yes, Wayne. I mean, yes, Dolmex, she has joined. Listen, when I start doing these reviews, hopefully you can get some more people. Seriously. Princess, if Lulu focused on parenting her kid and stopped meddling Brooklyn's business, Rocco might be at home instead of a college party where he has no right to be. Princess CJ, you got a point. Got a point. Okay, now Domex says they're trying to control Sienna. The Blakes have always been sketchy and controlling. Even Jess twins' brother was a psycho. Yeah, and Jess is Sienna's father. Jess is Sienna's father. That's his name. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I've been watching it for a couple weeks, and I'm still feel like I'm playing catch up in a sense. But I'm telling you, Wink, once you start to get into it, like once you start to know the names and kind of like the dynamic, I think you actually really like it. Listen, it's way better than Born and Beautiful. Let's be honest, Ryan. Let's be honest, Ryan. Um, Portia is a snake. Portia's a goddamn snake. Let's not even sit there. Let's not even play that game. Tommy says Victor is so petty. I can't stand him. Yeah, he's just kind of old and just stuck in his ways in a sense. Portia is a goddamn snake. Okay, Portia is also an idiot for sitting there thinking that Drew is just going to somehow disappear. Like her problems is going to be solved. So we're not going to sit there and try to act like Portia's not a goddamn idiot. Okay. Ring said "God in the Hollis" and Beyond the Gates wasn't on last week and this week. No, it's not. Prince, it's not. I looked when I started watching Beyond the Gates. It's not on. It's not on YouTube. I didn't get time to react to the second comment. That's all. Right. Really? Prince, I'll tell you one thing though. Like when Beyond the Gates actually do what's good double C. When Beyond the Gates does come on YouTube, I'll definitely let you know though. What's the story with Mercedes' oldest son? What's good, Mika? Just because I know a lot of other people, um, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of did ignore that part, but I wasn't gonna get into the second part of that. But no, Prince, I know that a lot of other people don't have Paramount and they want to sit there and watch it on YouTube. It was pretty decent. It was decent, Mikhail. It wasn't super amazing, but it was decent, and it held my attention. It held my attention. So I think you'll like it. I don't think it's super amazing, but I think you'll like it though. Chelsea need to get with the goddamn program. I'll tell you that much though. And that's the thing though, right? Like I, where is YNR review? Everything got pushed back, Tommy. Everything came out late um, because of the news coverage of the Pope. So everything got pushed back. I had to watch everything on Paramount Plus. That stuff comes on that Fox. I had to watch YNR. I had to sit there and watch Beyond the Gates and Born and Beautiful. So I really did not have time. Uh, Somewhat, Tommy. I don't feel that bad for her, but I feel somewhat bad for her because she could have told. Yeah, Wink, that's what it was. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really give a shit about that, but it annoyed me because it pushed everything back. Everything I want to sit there and review, like Bold and Beautiful or hell, even The Young and Restless, I couldn't. Filmax says, I'm guessing they finally released Bobby from jail. I saw the casting announcement. What did he go to jail for? Um, it actually kind of annoyed me too, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's regular television, so of course they're gonna sit there and just push it back or whatever. And I'm like, like I said, I was so fucking annoyed. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I trust you, Tommy. To tell you the truth, I was thinking about maybe even reviewing Beyond the Gates, even though it wasn't really performing too well. J. Blue says Portia should have told her husband, but she chose to withhold information again. She has to read what she saw, and she will. And she will. And when it happens, I'm going to relish in that shit because she actually thought that her. She actually thought. Wayne says they have entire channels dedicated to the news. Why interrupt regular programming? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. They do that shit all the time. But Wayne, I mean, thank you, Jay Blue. The only thing that actually worked out was because I paid for Paramount Plus every month. So at least I actually got my money's worth today. I mean, I might not have done any reviews that I wanted to do, and I had to have all my shit pushed back until later on. But like, at least I got my money's worth out of it. Womack says Mercedes and Bobby went to jail for unaliving a few people. Oh shit! Oh, okay, all right. He's wow. Ryan says I agree with that regarding Porsche. I just hate Drew so much. I want to lose. Okay. Wink says, yeah, Hulu and Paramount tapping my credit cards monthly too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but Wink, it is what it is, and well, it helps. It helps with the taxes at next year. But listen, that shit, Wink, that shit is considered a business expense for me. So I may not get much back from it, but every little bit helps. So that's one of the really good things about being a YouTuber like that. The insane amount of notebooks I sit there and buy. The battery is actually all the batteries that I sit there and get for my laptop. I just sit there and just put that shit on as taxable. Like, yo, I keep all my receipts. I ain't playing. Doing what she wants instead of just telling her. Yeah, and the thing is, Ryan, Portia act Portia acts as though what Nina did was really going to benefit her, but it didn't benefit her because she still has a problem with Drew. In reality, it only benefited Nina to get the ketamine. Domac says Bobby took out his serial killer great grandpa justifiably. He lets Silver, his stepdad, die. He legit killed Tony's sister, Barry. He also tried to set Felix son on fire. Oh, he's all sorts of complicated. Okay, I can't wait to sit down and see this character then. Okay, damn. Hollyoaks are stepping up their game. I still think Frankie's an idiot, but like Hollyoaks are definitely stepping up their game. That is awesome. Sandy says Portia better tell Curtis that Dirty Jewish blackmail her before it gets worse. Oh, it's already going to get worse. It's already going to get worse, and I'm here for it, baby. That's awesome, though, Max. Now Wink is not there watching it. When I get some time, I'm gonna sit there and Gorgeous Queen Janet, how you doing tonight? Domac says, and Bobby was like Arlo's age when he did all that. So watch that. Oh shit! We can always talk about Beyond the Gates. You know that. You know we can sit there and talk about Beyond the Gates. I thought it was a decent episode. I thought it was a decent episode. Jay Blue says, I don't hate Drew. He adds the drama to GH. I'm just curious as to why Drew is so angry. Revengeful at so many people, and why is he manipulative with Willow? Hmm. Rosemary, it's good to see you, Rosemary. Good to have you here tonight. It's good to see you, of course. He is young and greedy. Yes, and that's true because he adds drama to the show. He adds drama to the show. And I'll actually tell you the truth, Ryan. Let's just be honest. There are people that are worse than him. Okay, let's be very clear, Ryan. Every person that steps to him, except for Michael, has done shit just as bad, if not worse. Nina stole the goddamn baby. Okay, Portia lied about her child with Curtis, and Luke Spencer is the worst of the worst. And yet people want to sit there and try to act like Drew is bad. Get the F up out of here. Listen, I'm not listening to saying that Drew's a saint or anything like that, but like, people should really sit there and look in the mirror when they sit there and come towards what you call it. Allison, Drew has never artworked someone, but Luke Spencer has, and yet they sit there and act like Luke Spencer is the greatest, blah, 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 blah. Rosemary says, good to see you. I'm glad that you are on doing tonight. Well, thank you for actually being here, Rosemary. I appreciate you being here, seriously. And, um, Rosemary, follow me on what you call it. And I'm always here to sit there and talk. No, we're not going to play that game. I don't care about other people. What game are we playing? And, I mean, let's be honest. You don't need to sit there and play the game I'm playing. I'm playing it. I don't care about other people. I didn't sit there and say you need to care about other people. I'm sitting there. I'm talking about them. You don't need to agree with me. I said what I said. Be very clear about that. Monique says maybe Claire should ask Victoria how he had her arrested because she was with Billy. I think she did. I actually no. I think Victoria did. I think Victoria told her about Victor getting her arrested. Exactly. He's not evil. Dot dot period, bitch. I see we're about to get to that point. But I'm mildly entertained, so um Allison says I love Carly and Jason, but they have been doing horrible things. Way worse than Drew did. Exactly. So I'm like, we're not gonna sit there and try to act like well, most of us aren't gonna sit there and try to act like Drew's the devil. Um Domek says, I like how Danny just refused to let Haley buck her. The way she dismissed her with the whole Deguanas. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, she kind of pissed me off. She kind of annoyed when she did that. But to be fair, Haley was also being kind of annoying today, though, especially with Ted. Even though that she did have a point, Ted came to Bill essentially for consoling him, and Haley was like, "Yo, where were you when the family was not there dragging Bill through the mud. Where were y'all then? Kelly was just being an annoying kid. Yeah, exactly. And then what you call a sad thing was like, yo, you're not helping. So what did she do? She go to the corner. She goes to the corner and she's on her phone and then she's throwing a little shade here or there. I was like, girl, don't you got like YouTube or whatever you can sit there and go to and start posting shit or something like that? J. Blue says Danny is a minor. There's no way he'll be charged with accessory to manslaughter. The college kids who gave Danny and Rocco alcohol is the right. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And if he didn't have his goddamn blinders on, he would see that. He would effing see that. You are 100% correct. But yeah, she was being a little extra. Warhammer Rocco knows right from wrong. Dominic says, well, Ted went to seek out his friend Bill. If Bill needs to talk to Ted, he should have approached him. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to destroy trying to destroy mausoleum is worse than R wording someone. Yeah, okay, sure. Hmm. Yeah, we're gonna put destroying a crypt higher than R wording someone. Yeah, sure. Wayne says, I'm sorry, but I think Haley should have left the room to let Bill and Ted talk. Ted, yeah, exactly. Yes, and I agree with that, Wayne. LaShawn says Beyond the Gates comes on demand. Yes. Um yeah, if you have cable, it comes on demand. But some people don't, and that's where things get a little kind of. And then yeah. Yeah, and I get that, Ryan, but it's still public knowledge. Like it still happened, so it's before my time too. But I know about it. I'm not gonna sit there and acknowledge it like it didn't happen just because I wasn't there for it. Boy here says Dante Chloe inherits Sonny's unreasonableness. Filmmaker said this is random, but they got to get a bigger couch for Bell. That dude has to go down. Yeah, I'm so fucking glad I'm not the only person that saw that. I'm so glad that no, he is not. He's not in. He's not in the family crib. They buried his ashes in Kilimanjaro. No, 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 no. They buried his ashes near Kilimanjaro. Yeah, he's his ashes is buried on a mountain somewhere. It's not even. Jenna says it's going to be a strange. It's going to be strange with a new actor next week. Yeah, I get that part. Yes, I am so glad that I'm not the only person that saw that shit. Though. Like seriously, I felt so bad for him. The couch was too low for me, and that dude is like 6'6". I don't know. Shooting somebody in the head, I think that's pretty bad. But tomato, tomato. I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth with you about Drew and what he did and what he didn't do and who's bad, who's worse, or anything like that. I think I kind of made my point. You made your point, so let's just move on. But yeah, Domex, I mean, the dude is, let's put it this way. I would have to look up at him. And I don't think I'm tall, but I don't think I'm short either. So the tombstone Drew visit was an empty grave? Probably. I mean, he might have made another one, but the point, I mean, I do remember that's what Oscar wanted, was to have his ashes spreaded in Kilimanjaro. Could be. Could be Wink. Very well could be. But Tomax says Bill is a big dude, but it kind of adds to it when he tries to threaten people, makes him more intimidating. Yeah, exactly like Mike. Remember Mike, right? Mike who forgot that Bill is 6'6" and was not there getting up in his face, acting like, and the dude I could have swore I either Mike might be like my height or a little bit below. I'm not too sure. But the point is I was like, bro, I think you I was like, I think you kind of forgetting that you're talking to a 6'6" brother. Like you had a he definitely woke up. He definitely woke up at that point in time. Telling you, you walling out. I'm 5'7". I am 5'7". I don't know if that's average height or below height or I have no idea, but Domax says I really thought Bill was about to go full shit. Yeah, he should. But Domax, just the fact that he started to, that he picked that dude up, he was holding him. I was like, yo, that woke his ass up. No, it's not. Oh wow, Sonny's 5'9", and I guess they consider him short. Okay, all right. I don't know, Wink. It's kind of weird for me when I see people when I see men that's actually shorter than me. You know what I'm saying? When I see men that's actually shorter than me, and I try not to say anything because whatever. But sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be walking or I'm at a bus stop or whatever, and I'm just like, "You're really short. I mean, you are really short at this point." But no, he's not. He's not actually in the lineup yet. But sometimes it takes a while. It's weird, J. Blue, because sometimes it takes a while before they get in the lineup, and sometimes they don't. Oh, you're tall, Rosemary. You're tall. Cool. Domex Ziegler says 5'9" is average height for Americans. Oh, okay. Hey, well, I guess I'm below average. Well, I'm below average in height. I am below average in height. Just make sure we're on. That should mean that. Make sure I get that shit right. Uh, yeah, you goddamn right. Specify. I had to make sure when like this shit is live. I can't sit there. I'm, I'm just saying, right? I had to make sure, you know, that it's live. So I got to get it right the first time. Shit. Monique said, "Did you see the 12-foot statue in New York?" No, I didn't. I feel like I should be ashamed for not seeing that, and I live in New York. I had to specify. Oh wow, are you are tall? Jesus Christ. Okay, Dominic, I'm gonna have to sit there and be looking up when I see you in person. No, actually, I did not see that. Didn't see that. Have a good night, Francis. It was great to see you, and yeah, I'll see you in tomorrow's stream. I will see you in tomorrow's stream. So it was a weird day, though, right? Because everything did come on. Link says the statue in New York with the lopsided chest. Yeah, no, I didn't see that. I never feel like I'm very tall. Yes, I do. Ryan, I do. I know you disagree for many reasons, but I do. I know that you don't like her actions and the way that she's went about things, but I do. I think that Michael and Willow should have 50-50 custody. I think that, the kids need both of their parents. And I get you don't like Willow for various reasons, and I mean, I'm not a super fan of Willow either, but you know, I do feel that they benefit from both of their parents. So yes, that is my opinion. Exactly, as they should share the kids. 50-50. They're, yeah, that's what I said. Like, I just, like, regardless of, my whole thing is like, regardless. I mean, I know you don't watch Days of Our Lives, but like, you have Brady, you have Chris. Kristen is a bad example of a mother in a sense. Like, she does very dangerous and deranged shit. So, like, I wouldn't feel that way between Kristen and Brady on Days of Our Lives. Oh, shit. I knew I forgot something. Delmex, let me know if you're still in the chat. We haven't sat there and talked about Days of Our Lives, but I do want to sit there and make this comparison. Okay, so you look at Michael, Willow, and Drew. I feel like there's parallels between Sean, Bell, and Philip because Philip is um yeah, but the punishment shouldn't be losing the kids. So like that's off the table. You know, um, but that's the thing though, Like I thought about that today, and like Philip and how's this goddamn name Sean? They both feel sad about oh, but that scene reminded me that Philip is well, that's Sean is his nephew, and yet He slept with his wife. Domex says, especially with Philip being shady in his pursuit of Bell. Now, let me ask you a question. I have to think about it, Ryan. I know not having their kids is definitely off the table. Kids need both of their parents, point blank, period. But I don't know. I gotta think about it. Do you think that? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Philip got the same hate as much as Drew in that situation? Allison says, "Why would the kids live with if not Willow at this point? Like was not in any shape to take care of them." Exactly. That's what I'm looking at, Ryan. Like it made me think about that for a hot minute. You know, somebody says, for a hot minute they thought Claire was Phillips. Hmm. Jay Blue says using her kids to punish Willow is not right. That's different from infidelity. Exactly. Like, well, the point is, Ryan, you don't use kids to sit there and start punishing the parents. That's what you don't do. You want to sit there and go at each other in different ways. Cool, that's fine. But you don't use somebody's kids to do that. That's out of pocket. I mean, Ryan, I get it. You don't like Willow, and it is what it is. But I mean, there's such thing as just being blindly hating someone. To the point like I want her kids taken away. It's like, and the thing is, Allison. Unfortunately, I don't know if Ryan thinks that way, but he's not the only person. I've seen that level of dumb shit online where people just thinking with their emotions. Be like, I don't like Willow, so I want her kids taken away. And you're just like, what's wrong with you? You know? Dave says the only person Dante should be mad at is Danny and Jason, especially Jason. Gio had nothing to do with what happened to Rocco. Some says I think Philip got some hate because most fans were more team Sheldon, but Philip has a stronger tie to the show than Drew does. Philip is tied to a lot of major characters. Okay. Ryan, let's play nice. Play nice, Ryan. Remember, we're having a conversation, not a battle. And I like Jay Blue, and I want Jay Blue to stay. So that's you're up here. I want you to sit there and put it down there. Monique says Willow should have signed the divorce paper before she decided to declare her love with Drew. Technically, they are still married unless yes, that's true. Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's true. She shouldn't have sat there and been parading with Drew on Valentine's Day. Like that was just wild to me. Domex says Philip was born on days. Drew was a retcon character. I think it changed how some fans feel about him. Okay. All right. Yeah, it made me think about. I think it was either yesterday or today. I thought about that. Jay Blue, let me know if you're still in the chat. Yeah, like I said, I thought about that. I think it was either today or yesterday. I was like, it hit me when they were both there bonding over Bo, and I was like, that's uncle and nephew right there. I need Pacifics. She cheated. Michael cheated. She and Michael both. didn't have communication with each other and both kept secrets. Yeah, I mean, it was like it sucked. Filmmaker says they even compared it to when Bill was pursuing Steffi while she was with Liam. Oh shit. Yo, okay, that's crazy because that's his dad. That's his dad. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Wow. Yeah, Jay Blue, I was gonna sit there and say don't take it serious what Ryan says. Sometimes he gets a little passionate and he gets a little and sometimes he needs to be reminded to just kinda, bring it down a couple of notches. So I don't need another person that they're leaving my chat because somebody decides to just, okay, I just wanna make sure, Ryan, because I know sometimes you get a little passionate and everything, and make sure I'm not losing Jay Blue because somebody decided to start wilding out. I'm gonna sit there and crash the fuck out. You know how it is being the ringleader. I'm still thinking. Listen, we're gonna have to talk about this shit on the member circle because um, I was in Kyrie's stream yesterday. I was like, yo, so you get it, right, Jay Blue? Don't said that's why I sometimes shade Steffi when it comes to the Brooke hate. Steffi had to have a paternity test for Kelly because Liam was real close to being big bro. Oh shit! Wow. Jay Blue says I remember when Cameron played Ryan in AMC and he had a relationship with Erica Kane. Why didn't people get upset about that? But now he's playing Drew with Willow. It's gross. I mean, I'm just trying to understand their point of view. Okay. I just, like I said, Jay Blue, I just want to make sure, I know my chats can get a little crazy and everything, but I'm making sure that history does not repeat itself. Shit. Anyway, damn, unfortunately, I got to sit there and end the stream here because I do have to wake up at 3:45 in the morning. And I got to start getting, especially on Thursdays when I have to wake up super early, I got to start to sit there and get a little more discipline about ending the streams at a certain time since where I can get enough time to sleep. Yes, Jenny, you will damn sure see me tomorrow. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yes, Blackmon, I'm gonna be back on tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Allison, for coming through tonight. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you. Thank you, Jade Fan. I know you start writing a sentence or whatever, but thank you for Jade Fan for keeping things chill and not having me, well, essentially crash out. So I appreciate that. Have a night, Rosemary. And again, thank you for coming through. Follow me on Instagram. We'll talk. All right. Have a night, cherry ice cream. Yes, back at you. I don't know, LaShawn. I was actually sitting there trying to check tonight. I didn't actually see him. I didn't see him. I didn't see him in any posts or anything. Have a night, J Blue. Have a night, cherry ice cream. Have a night, Blackma, aka Mr. JQ. Have a night, LaShawn. Have a night, Dolomedics. Have a night, Ryan. Have a good night, J Blue. Thank you for sticking around. Have a nice Sandy Moon. It was great to see you again. Have a night, Dolomedics. Have a night, Wink. We got to get some more people in the Hollyoaks, man. We're gonna do it. I gotta sit there and start doing some reviews on this show so we can get some more people in. It's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. It's my name. It's my name with the most posts. So just type in Albert Bostic and I'll come up. Seriously, you cannot. It's literally Albert Bostic. It's the same thing as my YouTube page. Early morning cherry ice cream. 3:45 in the morning. I gotta wake up for work. So yeah. You have a good night too, Rosemary. It was great to see you. Yes. Fuck yes. Yes, Dolomitics. Yes. I'm not cursing so much. But yes, Dolomitics. Yes, we definitely do. It's awesome that Wink has joined the fold. So we got to get a couple more people in this whole thing. But yeah, Jay Blue, it's just Albert Bostic. Trust me, you cannot miss it. But yes, everyone have a great night. I should probably put that in my bio at some point. Yes, have a great night, everyone. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next stream. Thank you, Cherry. You as well, and thank you for joining tonight. Laters.